bronche, that's how we say brunch.
Here's to the ladies who say basic with their lunch.
You want that bochinche?
Paquete con pinche, you hear what they said?
Not too busy, glasses clinking.
Aquí en esta mesa se respeta como ñón.
Si la copa está llena, yo te doy la bendición.
So what if we get ratchet?
We from the Bronx.
That's it.
Don't get it twisted.
We be going to Manhattan. Be a queen.
Be a boss.
Ladies who brunch and poppin' off.
Hey, we pop and pop it off. We pop.
All right. The episode's about to start.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ladies Who Bronche. I am Julissa.
What's up, everybody? This is Skittles.
And this week, we have a sassy, goofy, pero enanita that's also very bonita, Danielle. Who the fuck are you?
Hey. What's up? What's good, everybody? What's good? I wanted to do that so bad.
Yes, I love that.
I'm Danielle Alvarez. You can call me Danny, D. Danny Alvarez my parents are Peruvian, but I was born here, and I'm the founder of the BONITA Project.
Yes, and tell us a little bit about what the BONITA Project is.
So, the BONITA Project is a mix of things, but it is technically a Latinx-owned PR influencer marketing agency. I come from the world of PR and marketing, and I work with a great roster of women-owned brands, women of color-owned brands within the beauty space. So getting them in front of the press, getting them into the hands of influencers. So basically doing everything that has to do with PR, but doing it for what we would say, I guess, smaller brands, but they're not. They're small, but impactful and powerful.
Amazing.
Yes, and Botanica Beauty is one of those clients.
Correct.
Right?
Botanica Beauty. So the clients as of right now, our client roster includes Botanica Beauty, which is Ada Rojas, her hair care line. And as of this year, we're also going to be representing Honey Baby Naturals.
Yes,
Nice.
Honey Baby.
Okay.
Both are in my hair currently. I just want to say both of them in my hair right now.
Honey Baby Naturals is her business partner, Aisha, her line. And then we also now have a luxury CBD skincare brand.
Okay.
CBD.
Nice.
Yes, which I'm very excited about. She's based out in LA.
Cool.
And it's called Gracious Om. And then we also have a natural personal care line. So it's a natural deodorant line called Kinko with these two women based out of Houston. And then let's see who also. We also have, I can't forget, Kubra K Skincare. Kubra K Skincare is my very first Black-owned brand, which I'm very excited about as well because I was very adamant of wanting to bring a Black-owned brand into my roster as well. And we started working with her as of earlier last month. And she's also focused on it's a natural skincare line based on her West African beauty rituals and ingredients. So it has a very heartful and beautiful message behind it. So we are working with her, with Kubra K. And then, we are still also open for business. So if you wish to also send us a pitch.
Right.
Yes, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
That's super awesome. And what I love about your diversity in vendors is that it's also like, yes, they're owned by women of color, but they're also women of color who are exploring their cultural spaces and sort of challenging some of the conventions. So like, even with the natural hair movement in itself is something, as a Dominicana, like, Dominican girls love their blowouts, you know what I mean? And so, like, to be in a space where now you are creating a very high-quality product, because I have to say Honey Baby and Botanica are, like in my journey of finding products, I don't think I've ever felt more matched than with those products. But, like, even in that space where there's something special about it being an Afro-Latina, you know what I mean? Even though, like, I love Shea Moisture, I love all those brands, but there is a pride. And I think that a lot of, as consumers, things that make us prideful, we're automatically drawn to, and I think it's exciting as an adult to have that opportunity. But as you guys continue to grow, these brands are going to be influencing the generations of people, younger than us, and my nieces, and so there's something so exciting about this, what I'm calling a renaissance of Latinx culture exploding in the U.S., which is my favorite part about what you guys do. It's really the diversity there.
And I love to hear that. I mean, I think one of the things that I normally, when I talk to people that ask me, like, Danielle, what like, how did you do it? How did you break out? How did you, because I was working for a very reputable PR agency in the beauty space. I'm not going to lie to you. And the biggest fear when you step out of a big reputable company is like, will anyone pay attention to me? Will anyone give a fuck about who I am? Like, once you let go of that reputable name, like, that's it. You feel like your network is lost. Your contact list goes to shit. No one's going to want to talk to you anymore because it's like, who are you repping now? Who?
Right.
Fulanita que? Fulanita, you know what? But thank God, like, thank God. Like, didn't let that fear get in between what I wanted to do. And like now I even feel more prideful, and like I get much more excited working for the smaller brands and for the indie brands, because they're eager to wanting to learn. Like they want to hear your ideas, they want to take your advice.
Right.
You don't have to basically have to deal with a hierarchy of people like, hey, I'm presenting my idea, can you approve it? And then going for another round too, okay, I'm presenting it again, can you approve it? Like this time it's just direct and in their face, like, hey, do we do this or do we not? And they move forward with it. So I love that. Yeah, I love working with indie beauty brands at the moment. And I never thought I would say this like 7 years ago when I started, because I thought like working for the cooler, bigger guys was awesome, but it's not always that way. So,
Right.
yeah.
No, absolutely. And it's important that we have women creating these spaces. And like I was reading some stats, and we're going to talk about this on another episode, but just about women and women-owned businesses and the rate at which those are being opened, and the numbers are phenomenal. I mean, Latinas are leading the percentage of women in the U.S. who are opening business at the fastest rates. And so this is just like the blossoming of this. I cannot wait. Y'all are going to be so big, and all the people who are like, oh, they're small, pretty soon they're going to be up your ass, being like, oh my God, can I have your client? Oh my God, can I have your client for this? I can't wait for that.
I can't wait either. I'm always staying with positive energy, like I was saying before. It's been a blessing to have done the BONITA project, that we're going into our second year.
Yes.
And the support has been very amazing from the community, from the network that I thought that wasn't gonna follow me. No, they followed me. They said, we're gonna keep an eye on you. And sure enough, like look how far the BONITA project has gone, and it's not just me. I have a team behind it as well.
Yes.
So I'm very, very happy about that.
Yes, shout out to the BONITA team. BONITA gang.
BONITA gang. I love it. So tell us, what is your favorite brunch bebida? Like when you go out to brunch with the girls, when you're with the Bonitas, what are you gonna order to drink?
Oh boy. Okay, so listen, I picked up this habit when I moved to New York. I started drinking Bloody Marys because I have, shout out to my gringa friend.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a white girl in me. I'm like, she got me into the Bloody Mary. So then after that, I was like, I want a Bloody Mary. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll switch it up every now and then. Maybe I'll even go for like a margarita.
Ooh, I love a good margarita with brunch.
I like margaritas
R.I.P.
over mimosas.
Limon.
Even though, I mean, you can't go wrong with a mimosa, but like, if I'm going to drink in brunch, it's usually because I really want to like drink in brunch.
Yeah.
Because if not, then I'll just go for coffee. But no, for like if I want to go out and drink, I'm going to get a margarita or even my Bloody Marys, because my Bloody Marys are very like they.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hit you
How many Bloody Marys can you do like within like because I feel like that's like a thick drink.
Yeah,
It's like a
that's
soup.
thick drink. No, yeah. No, I would probably do two in like a sitting, because I'm like sipping, eating, and it's like you said, it's a very heavy drink. So I'll probably have like at most two.
Yeah.
So then, what is your go-to brunch plate?
Okay, so my go-to brunch plate is a fried chicken sandwich with like waffles, or like fried chicken and waffles, or a fried chicken sandwich with like maybe a side salad, or maybe even I'm adding this. I'll probably get waffle fries if they have it. Like or garlic truffle fries or something like that.
Truffle has been the gift from God.
I know.
Yes.
It's been the gift of God. But I can't. Every time I see a fried chicken sandwich in the menu, I'm like, well, that's what I'm getting.
Right.
There is a place downtown by oh my God, it's like by where all those the bitter end, like all those spots. It's that one street, Bleecker Street. Is it Bleecker Street? Is Bleecker Street? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't.
Whatever. But there's a place in that area,
Bronx.
in that like NYU area, that does a brunch, and they have a fried chicken sandwich that is sandwiched between two waffles.
See, I'm not so, okay, then I have to go there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I've been to
yes.
quite a few. I mean, ever since I moved here, I've definitely done my hoeing around with brunch places. Like,
Yes.
And there's nothing like NYC brunch. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's nothing like
we
New York
we
brunch.
do it best.
No, we do it
And
best.
after you get to a certain age, brunch is just better. Like, who doesn't like getting drunk during the day with your girlfriends?
And
like,
then being in bed at a reasonable
food,
hour.
alcohol, exactly. Especially like if you overdo it, like you get in bed in time to miss like the early onset hangover that you're gonna get from drinking such sugary drinks all day.
That too.
Yeah.
I will say, if we're gonna promote a brunch, there's a spot that you can never go wrong. Have you guys been to Miss Favelas?
No,
I haven't. I've heard of it though.
Where
It's
is it?
Brazilian, right?
It's in Brooklyn. It's in Williamsburg. Let me
Under
tell
the
you that
bridge train. Yep.
has so
Okay.
many stories of like that place. You could just never go wrong. Even on a winter. I mean, it's definitely much more poppin' in the summertime because it's hot. They have
Right,
an
and the
outdoor
outdoor.
seating area.
Oh, cute.
But never fails. Every Saturday and Sunday they have a live pagode band, so they're playing like Brazilian music, like
Wow.
samba music. But then it's like the caipi, like so you order what you have to order. There's a caipirinhas, so like a pitcher of caipirinha, and it's like this pitcher that's I think like valued at $50, which is kind of stupid, but okay. But that pitcher, I kid you not, you have 2 of those caipirinhas and you're set. You're good, and you're dancing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the caipirinha is very sugary. It's like a
Right.
it's like a mojito kind of in a way, but it's just it's. I mean, it's not a mojito because Brazilians will get
Right.
if I say it
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a very sugary drink, and I mean, yeah, you get. And the music, it's just a great vibe. And when it's the World Cup, because I've gone on World Cup days when they're playing, that's an intense,
I can't imagine.
experience. But it's so much
And it's
fun.
right there. It's
I
on a little
highly
corner.
recommend it.
I know exactly
That
the spot
sounds
you're
like
talking
brunch
about.
during the
Highly
World
recommend
Cup.
it.
Everybody watching it sounds like a marathon of brunch, like the Hunger Games of brunch. Like you'll be like dealing with everybody screaming and shit.
Yeah. No, there's a
know.
lot of excitement.
I recommend it though, you guys. It's so much fun. You can't go wrong. You can't go. Miss Favelas, remember that? And it looks like a favela.
Yeah.
It feels like a mini
Yep.
favela. Like you're in Brazil. Like you transport yourself, which is what I love
Nice.
about it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I recommend it.
Amazing.
Well, we gotta check it out.
So tell us, what was it like going out to eat when you were a kid?
So going out to eat when I was a kid, I grew up with my mom. I grew up in a single mom household, and we grew up in South Florida. I lived a few years in Fort Lauderdale, and then I lived in Miami. But to be quite honest, we were not accustomed to going out that much. My mom is she was a part-time assistant to like a daycare center. So like, you know, her checks did not give for much. We lived in a one-bedroom house, an apartment. I didn't have my own bedroom until I maybe was 16. So I lived in a one-bedroom, always shared a bed with my mom. So, I mean, I'm just giving this background because, I mean, yeah, to be honest, like, now I'm going out and, like, enjoying my brunches and whatnot. And my boyfriend's like, damn, you got money like that to spend? I'm like, listen,
Right.
I earned this shit.
Right.
I'm going to go out and I'm going to go to a 5-star restaurant if I fucking want to.
Right.
But back then, mommy and I did not. And, I mean, South Florida is very different than it is here. Like, you go to an Applebee's, a Chili's, it's like going to, like, a thing. You're going to get dressed up to go to a Chili's or an Applebee's or, like, TGI Fridays. Like, that was the places we would go to every now and then. I mean, if, like, growing up in South Florida, I'm Peruvian and I'm very proud about my food. And back then, there was not that many Peruvian restaurants in South Florida. Now there is a lot, but back then there wasn't. So like when we would find out about a Peruvian spot, we would drive the hour and a half down wherever it was to like eat like our authentic Peruvian food, which was exciting. So I grew up very proud of my Peruvian cuisine. My mom wasn't the biggest cook at home. I mean, she would cook, but she wasn't like the one that would whip out the plates and stuff like that. She would cook it was just her and I. She would cook enough for like 3 days or 4 days to like have leftovers. Right. But yeah, no, like that was like that. I mean, I guess I would say like that's what I'm trying to remember. Like just going out and eating with her. I mean, I did end up working in the restaurant business for a minute, for like about a year or two when I was in high school. And it was, I mean, South Florida is a very different restaurant scene than New York. Like New York, what I love about New York is that you have a lot of mom and pop shops. You have one restaurant that you cannot ever see ever again in your life. Like it's that one restaurant with that one menu with the one fried chicken sandwich that's like, I can only go there and get it. But in Florida, it's a little bit different. I mean, Florida's definitely changing now. But yeah. That was my...
Nice. All right, so when you're at a table and you're munching, what are you talking about? ¿Qué el bochinche?
Oh, man. I mean, if it's with my girlfriends, I'm talking about, like, we always love to. I mean, we're very petty. Come on, guys. We're gonna be talking about shit like, did you see so and so? She's dating so and so, or like we'll talk about the exes. Like just now, I literally have a group chat that's called Petty Wop Click. Petty Wop Click, and they were bringing up memes about me when I used to date some stupid guy from the past.
Oh, it's always.
And then they were like,
ones.
imagine if you would have ended up with this guy. I mean, that's normally what a conversation would be in the table.
Yeah.
Imagine if you would have ended up with that guy. I mean, now at 31, but back then when I was like in my earlier 20s, like, I mean, yeah, we were talking about the night before, the stupid, walk of shames. Like, come on, we've all done it. We've all done it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But
I've had my share of walk of shame.
I mean, our group chat is called Bag of Entrepreneurial Thoughts. So, so we get it. We absolutely get it. Awesome. And now we're going to move into our cheers to the ladies who section, where we cheer people and dope shit that's going on in the world.
Which, first off,
Cheers.
let's actually
Let's
cheers,
cheers.
ladies.
Yeah,
Cheers.
cheers.
And,
Yes.
and this one is deserving of a cheers because
Yes.
that Super Bowl performance.
Talk about it.
Oh, God. Okay.
Shakira,
Talk about it.
J-Lo,
Talk about it.
Bad Bunny,
Talk about it.
J Balvin.
Talk about it.
It was, and pause, because it wasn't halftime, but Demi did her thing.
Demi did her thing too. I've only heard that she did her thing. I haven't watched it.
Right,
but
I'm guilty. I haven't watched the full thing. I've
We
watched
got,
pieces.
I actually watched this specifically because I was like, how did Demi do? We're only
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
Well, no,
J-Lo.
because also like people don't really realize that the Star Spangled Banner is one of the most complicated pieces of repertoire to sing.
Yeah.
Like it is
Yeah.
all over the range.
Yeah.
So if you can sing it well,
Yeah. So she definitely did a good job. People are trying to debate that because she did better than Whitney Houston. I don't know about that.
I was about to say.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Love her, but don't know about that.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, first of all, I'm going to shout myself out and say that I was definitely throwing shade at the fact that they agreed to do it at first. I was like, listen, I get that this is important for your careers. Like, I'm totally for it in an NFL where there isn't a Colin Kaepernick situation going on. Like, it almost like hurt me because I was like, fuck, like, I am excited for them, but also like,
At the
we
same
have to get a
time.
little radical these days. And it's not that I believe that activism on the behalf of celebrities always has to be so extreme where they're sacrificing opportunities every time they come at them. But it is just the stakes of our country right now, today, I think, call for it. And so that was my little disappointment. But as I was watching, and I quickly picked up on all of the symbols that were in there, from the kids in the cages. The minute that flag, that Puerto Rican flag busted out, I was just like, wow, like we are literally making a statement that this is ours, just like the fast pace, the energy, the movement. And I'm just like, wow, they didn't even take a break really when you think about it. Like even as an audience member, like I couldn't even like catch my own breath because, you know, next thing you know, the lights are changing and J-Lo's fucking coming up the Empire State Building on a pole. Like, and it was just like incredible.
Yeah.
And I was watching it with my two nieces and actually Skittles was there with me,
Yes.
but I was on the floor sitting next to my 5-year-old niece and she was just like, embelesada, like my mom says, just like like in a trance in the TV. And then when the performance was over, she goes, "That's it. Let's do another show." Like she was like, "This is," you know. And it made me so proud because I thought, wow, she's gonna grow up, and if we can continue this trend, and if the NFL gets its shit together, because it still needs to get its shit together. She's going to live in a world where Latinas perform at the Super Bowl and that's a norm. You know what I mean? And she's going to say, oh, ever since I was a kid, and we never got to say that. But that moment was so special, and so I was glad that I didn't, like, protest watching it, you know? Because a lot of people did say that they were going to protest watching it. I went somewhere where they were already playing it, whether I was there or not. But in my household, I did not turn on the NFL that day.
Yeah.
But, you know, that moment was just so important. But, like, let's talk about it. Now that I got all my feels out, what the fuck?
For me, I loved it. As a Puerto Rican from the Bronx and all of that goes along with it, I've always loved J-Lo. I have always loved Jennifer Lopez and Shakira as well. I can't say that my love for Shakira has ever been that huge.
I was obsessed.
But I know I'm not trying to like play Shakira's importance in the music industry. For me, it was J-Lo, but the entire performance I like, even leading up to it, I was kind of like, I understood like protesting and not watching it or whatever. I wasn't shocked that Shakira and J-Lo agreed to do it. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't necessarily tight at them because I wasn't shocked that they would agree to do it. Mm-hmm. I was more so on the front of like, well, Shakira could do it by herself and J-Lo could do it by herself. So why are they doing it together? Like, that to me felt like well, these two performances didn't need to be together.
Right.
But I'm glad that they did happen together. And it was like beautiful from like Shakira doing her Colombian movements and having like the black girls front and center. Like
so
she could have easily had
stage.
Other blonde, short women next to her. No, she had like brown, black women next to her, like surrounding her, front and center.
Because I've watched this more than once already. Guilty.
Yeah.
Sometimes out dancing her, and there's one point where you see her like eyeing the girl next to her, and she even looks at her like, "All right, you do your thing. I'm 43. You do your thing."
That ass.
You know, like she didn't try to like outdo her, and I was just like, and that's another thing. We're talking about women over 40, and J-Lo's already 50.
Yeah.
Moving like that, I can't do 30 seconds of that choreography without dying.
It was amazing. The also Shakira bringing out her Lebanese like belly dancing and that heritage
and that
call out
was also Lebanese and apparently Colombian. So I was like, look at her.
And Jennifer Lopez, obviously, because the first thing I told you was like she has to start with Jenny from the Block. She has to shout out the Bronx.
Literally, Juan directed the whole thing before we watched.
I told her I was like she has to start with Jenny from the Block. She has to shout out the Bronx. And the minute she did "We from the Bronx," you could, as Julie saw, the scream like bubbled from my inner core and just went. Ah! And like I was like in the middle of a living room, like family, nieces, like, and I'm like, it was just a very like, oh my God, everything that I have ever dreamed of was on that stage. Yeah. And so I loved it.
Danielle, where were you when the moment happened?
Well, I was at a friend's house. I only care for the halftime shows. Every year, every Super Bowl, I'm like, I don't give a shit who's playing. I don't even like football. Sorry.
I was like, it's so nice it was so nice for Jennifer Lopez to let these football players play at her concert.
No, I'm not I don't like football. I don't care for it.
I like football players.
Well,
I like football too, but yes.
I'm jumping up to another topic, but I recently watched the Aaron Hernandez documentary.
I
went to school with Aaron Hernandez. He was at UF when I was at UF.
Wow.
And I had the hugest crush on him. I was like, he is Matt Zag. I was like, he is so fine. Like Aaron, because he was the only hot Latino star on the field. Mm-hmm. And when all that shit went down, I was like, don't tell me that, don't tell me that, don't tell me that. And then, whatever. I'll let you guys watch and make your own opinions about that. But yeah, anyways. Going back to the Super Bowl, no. I am a big Shakira fan. And I think I told you this when I met you. So Shakira has influenced everything from my belly. I used to belly dance, and I did it for 10 years.
Wow.
I started when I was in 2000. It was when Ojos Así came out. So I've been following Shakira when she had her black hair, before she even did the crossover. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was a very big Shakira fan, and when I remember seeing Ojos Así when I was 10 years old, I was, I think, in 5th grade, I'm like, Mom, I want to learn what dance that is. What dance is that? Because in the music video, I don't know if you've seen it, she's literally belly dancing, right? But I don't know what kind of dance that was. I was just obsessed and fascinated with it. And then she did an MTV Unplugged concert. Yep. When she had her shimmy skirt, her coin skirt. And then my mom was like, yo creo que eso es el baile árabe. Like, that's belly dancing. So now, like, I remember when already when I was living in Miami. And when Shakira did the crossover and she released Whenever, Wherever, belly dancing was becoming a thing all of a sudden. Yep. Mm-hmm. Everybody was starting to belly dance. And now there's belly dance classes available. And Shakira did that. Okay, Shakira did that, especially in Miami. So my mom signed me up to a class. I kid you not, that class, I had like 7 people in my class for the first semester. And I started belly dancing. I was 13 when I started, or 12. I can't remember, but one of the two. And then when then this novela came out. I don't know if you guys even ever watched it.
Gitana?
No, El Clon. Does anyone remember El Clon?
Yes, I didn't watch it, but yes, it was played.
Okay, El Clon was like in Miami was the biggest deal in the world. Like El Clon came out and that hit belly dancing off the roof. Like, it became such a thing. So anyways, Shakira to me has, like, I mean, she influenced me with the belly dancing. I started belly dancing, did it for 10 years. And then I actually met her once at a CD signing, and I cried my eyes out. And I remember getting up to her and, like, palpitate, like, I was like, and she was like, okay, relax. And then she signed my CD. She was like, here you go. She was like, okay, because I was hyperventilating, like, crying.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was like in 2005. I met her at a CD signing in Miami. So yeah, I mean, I've been a big Shakira fan. So I laugh at I look at this performance, I'm like, man, I chose my idol right.
Yeah.
Like, I've been following you since I was 10.
Yep.
Like, I was obsessed with you before you even were like this huge global star dancing on stage. So I get emotional.
Yeah, no.
Like, I love Shakira. Like, and then J-Lo, I mean, I grew up with, like, a J-Lo fan. Not like a super J-Lo fan. Like, I mean, I appreciate her, like, what she's done. I mean, she's definitely influenced my fashion at one point when I was growing up as a middle schooler with, like, the freaking, what was the hat?
Oh, how she was rocking the Kangol.
Yeah, the
I forgot
Kangos,
she did that.
the cargo pants with the booties. Like, I was all into that. Like,
right.
you know. But yeah, no, like, I mean, to both of them, I have to salute them both. They did an amazing job. They killed it. I was actually rehearsing the Shakira belly dancing part in my living room for 2 fucking hours. I'm not even kidding. I have a video of it because I posted it on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I was doing it, and my boyfriend walks in on me. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" Because I didn't have the rope, so I had a little bell, and I'm like swinging it. He was like, "Danielle," and I'm like, "Well, let me try with the bell." I'm like, I wish if I had a rope, I would have totally tried it. But yeah. No, I love the performance. Everything about it, I think they did an amazing job. People that are comparing it to Beyonce don't, because they're not Beyonce.
Was that happening? I missed.
Oh, girl, the Shade Room was definitely going at it.
Oh.
Well, what I heard was that like, so people were disliking the hypersexualization of Latinas during this performance, and I was like, but my cousin came to me on a post, and I really was just like, girl, it would be completely off brand for this performance not to be sexualized. Like,
right.
You're talking about Shakira and Jennifer Lopez, whose biggest movie in her career was Hustlers, about her being a stripper. Yeah.
And let me tell you,
so she's gonna be on the pole.
Goddamn.
That pole work was amazing.
Because that was athletic.
Because you're not gonna learn that for no reason. Yeah, right. I'm gonna learn it for the movie. I'm gonna do it on the Super Bowl. I'm gonna do it in 3 music videos, and I'm gonna do it on tour. And if my man want to see it in the bedroom, you better believe I'm gonna do it in the bedroom too.
Okay, shit. No, for real. And it's so crazy to me that was the statement. And then but then there was the other shade part, which I heard was, oh, so we could see that, but nobody defended Janet Jackson and her titty that was worth in Janet Jackson titties. Now, yes, I agree with that. I still think that the NFL, the world owes Janet Jackson an apology for that. But damn, that don't mean, like, why does that have to take away from Shakira and J-Lo that, you know, audiences do that? They didn't say, oh, fuck Janet, we're gonna do all this shit. They put on the production. First of all, they don't get paid for doing the shows. The NFL Super Bowl performers, they just pay for the production. So they dished out $10 million on this production, but the artists do not get paid.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, it's an honor thing. It's like, if you get invited to the Super Bowl, like, that is like a
and it's this idea that once you do this performance, your career is gonna
it's literally like, it's almost like getting a star.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Shakira releases an album this year,
right?
Because of
or something. Yeah, no,
something like that.
But it's just interesting how, like, that's what we do to each other. Is we see a special moment and then we find opportunities. I saw people who were saying that they exploited Black people on stage. Actually, that they felt that the Black culture was exploited, and I'm like, actually, is it exploitation if what they did is say, hey, these are songs that we've already made. It's not like they remixed it to make it more Black. Like, these are the songs. These are their origins, and like, rather than just let us light-skinned, white passing women do it, like, we're gonna have the people who represent these cultures on this stage with us. Like,
that's what I take.
Even J-Lo had, like, I saw somehow through, like, when you on Instagram and you be stalking one person, then you just follow start looking at other profiles. So one of the dancers that danced behind J-Lo is like a not huge, but like a low-key pole dancing like competition winner, and so like it was. So they actually were intentional about the people who were behind them and making sure that now that they had this platform, several other people now
Yes.
had a platform to say, I performed at the halftime show.
I read that the dancers were like, 3 of them were like 3 world-renowned dance troupes.
Yeah.
You know, like from these countries that
Yeah.
we're doing it to.
So very intentional. Kudos to them. Again, that image of the kids in cages. And shout out to J-Lo's daughter. Also,
Yes. Who can
J-Lo and Mark
sing?
Anthony's. Everybody's like J-Lo's daughter and Mark Anthony.
She got her father's voice. She got her father's voice.
She does have her father's voice. But yeah, shout out to them for an amazing performance, and I'm glad that we got to witness it. And I will be playing it in my living room for years to come, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Ooh, can I have some? All right, well, now it's time for our Tuta Loca Es, where we call motherfuckers out for doing the most. And so, there was a post made by a male person in our circle, and it caused the debate. I like almost immediately slipped into his DMs about this post because it was on his story, and it said, "Women logic." With a colon, and it said 73 seconds of writing for 18 minutes of backshot mania equals a fair trade. In other words, they're saying that men put in 18 minutes worth of work, of physical labor during sex, in trade for women only doing 73 seconds worth of work during sex. And I was just like, hold up, because like, I know I'm not a woman, right? But I get things inserted into my hole. And I know that there is work that goes into sex on our end. Right. And it immediately sparked this debate between he and I, because I was like, okay, yeah, it's like doing crunches, and yeah, you're trying not to come on his end. That was his logic. He was like, the burn of the abs from trying to keep a steady rhythm and trying not to come early before the girl comes.
I'm sorry, I hate men.
So what are y'all thinking? Like, let's list the work that ladies put into their sex lives. Like, first off, I think there's a point where like the pain of the initial insertion needs to be accounted for in the work.
Especially during anal, right? Because we're talking. Yes. Okay, now let's get into anal. Now let's get into the logistics. Anal hurts.
Yes.
Anal with a big dick man hurts a lot. Taking that and still being able to sort of like, you have to focus on like, all right, you have to relax your muscles because you need to ease your pain because you want to enjoy it too. And then like, hey, if you didn't like do a douche or some shit like that, you're like, and now I'm also concerned about feces in this interaction and even just the prep. Pause. Men who are tops or straight males do not need to douche and do all the pre-prep that women have to do. Okay, shaving your balls might be really hard, but like, have you tried to shave your inner lip without fucking cutting yourself? Like, everybody has difficult angles that they're working with here, so let's not even fucking bring shaving into the equation. Their organ is out, mine is all in. I'm in my shower literally trying to like fucking do yoga just to make sure I don't have one fucking hair so these motherfuckers could enjoy it and have a smooth pussy. That is also work. Also Kegels, right? Kegels, actually, like when you're Kegling on a dick, when you're riding it so that it feels like tighter, because women were so hypnotized with this notion of like, oh, if we're not tight enough, he's not gonna enjoy it. But like that, it's almost like if you're trying to get tickled, what do you do? And you don't want to be tickled, you tighten up, right? So then you don't feel the tickle anymore. Yeah, well, when I'm tightening my pussy that much, at this point, my nerve endings are now tight, so it's less enjoyable than if I was just on top of you riding without trying to Kegel, because that relaxation will really allow for the stimulation to please me more than it pleases you. So I also sacrifice my quote-unquote come in when I'm up there for the 73 seconds is always more than 73 seconds. These motherfuckers swear. And these motherfuckers like swear they're having sex for 2 whole hours.
Yes,
and it'd be 30 minutes.
Swear.
45 minutes. If it's 2 hours,
most.
y'all are taking breaks in between. Who's fucking for 2 hours straight?
Maybe when we were,
when you were a teenager, but grown-ass men.
Yeah.
Y'all not fucking for 2 hours.
Have you guys seen the Leslie Jones stand-up?
Oh, no, not yet.
Oh, okay. Because she talks about having sex in your 20s, 30s, and then 40s. It's like, all right, 45 minutes at most. That includes me walking up the stairs, drinking a snack. Like, that shit Yo, I die. But versus 20, you're like, we're gonna fuck all night, and you're just like, why?
Yeah.
Why are we gonna fuck all night? Like, no, let's just. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have to watch.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, do you agree? What do you think? Do you think we put in enough work?
Oh man, this is a debate that I have all the time with just my boyfriend. Like he's like, what are you complaining about? You don't do shit. I'm like, excuse me? Like, are you kidding? I mean, listen, it's we do. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to.
Let me tell you something. Oh, and I failed to list dick sucking. I just want to throw that in there. It's also a lot of work.
Exactly. We're gonna get into that shit. I'm sorry. You don't think. Because
That's what I also brought that up into a debate because they don't call it a job for nothing.
Right.
Like who was it that said it on Sex and the City? They don't call it a job for nothing. You're trying to hold your breath, not gag. Like still look sexy, maybe look into your eyes a little bit. Like
trying to look all
like, and you know, some of them like for you to gag and do all this. It's like, you know, that's.
Yeah.
Spitting, like, listen, that's just work in and of
trying
itself.
to breathe.
Right. Let me tell you something. I had to master breathing while giving head. I was like, this is not productive for me. If I'm going to be in this dick, if this thing is going to go down this throat, I need to learn how to breathe. Otherwise, they show us how I ain't out here getting 73 seconds worth of head. So honestly, I think sex and this idea that penetration is the focus of sex is wrong because that's not how everybody has sex. Not everybody has sex that way. And quite frankly, sometimes I come harder when I'm getting eaten out than when they're doing all of this fucking work. Sometimes I'm there and you think you're doing the most. Well, maybe I should start letting y'all know, like, actually, you're doing a lot right now and it's not doing much for me. Do you want to take a break? Since I know you, but it's so much fucking work. Oh, sex. All right, so now we're moving to our plate of the day. Latinx marketing. Reshaping the narrative. So there was an article that had come out in the New York Times last month around Hollywood not being only 3% Latino, right? And so that sort of overarching statistic came from they did some research in the top 100 grossing films between 2007 and 2018. Only featured 3% Latino actors that were lead actors and co-leads, and the same went for producers and casting directors, which is even more alarming, I think, than the actors, because in that means that even as a creator and a writer myself, when my shit is getting into a room, the chances that a Latinx person is going to be handling Latinx content is only 3% of a chance, right? And so it was very interesting, and only 4.5% of the over 47K Spanish-speaking roles that the researchers studied went to Latinos. So we only played ourselves 4.5% of the time. And so that was really, really alarming to me. Latinx visibility is difficult because sometimes we get it, but then we get it, the narrative shaped in the way that, white lenses are viewing us. So they want us to be drug dealers, or they want us to be cleaners, or it has to be about immigration, there's just certain sort of trends that they keep up with. Same with the Black community. We always have to have a slave movie or something something about hardship, or Tyler Perry got a Black woman out here suffering for no reason. You know what I mean? Like there's always a thing. And so we don't often get to control our narratives, and these numbers are showing that we're not often in the room to control these narratives. But what I love about the internet and what I love about the space that you occupy in this market is that the internet has really become a home for brands, creators to have control of their narrative, of their brands and their stories, which is really exciting. What are some of the trends in the Latinx markets that you're seeing right now that are exciting?
So the trends that I'm seeing the most, I mean, at least now in the last 2 years since I launched the BONITA project, is the rise of the indie beauty brands within the Latinx space, right? I mean, I'm speaking on behalf of just like Botanica Beauty, Alamar Cosmetics, who's also another client of mine, a makeup line that's Latina owned, like just starting to work with these two girls and hearing their stories. Like they were telling me like they saw the Black community do it first, kind of like they kind of pave the path for like, okay, you know what? No one's paying attention to us. We're going to create our own brand. So you had brands like Juvia's Place. You had brands like Beauty Bakery, Carol's Daughter. I mean, they were the first, right, to do their own beauty lines. And now Now we're looking at the Latinx space, and it's like, okay, at least in the beauty space, they're finally getting comfortable to creating their own brand. And also, even outside of beauty, I feel like now the trend is like being your own entrepreneur. We're living in the entrepreneurial age. That's like, we're living in the age right now where everybody wants to become an entrepreneur, right? Everybody wants to create their own business because they're inspired by others to do it, to do so. And I think we have Instagram to thank for. You know, I think Instagram has definitely done a great job. I mean, everybody wants to portray this beautiful, I'm a hustler, I hustled, like, you know, chasing the money bag. Like, that's what we, like, everybody is attracted to that, right? Everybody rather, especially the younger creatives, everybody rather do their own thing versus having an older boss that like doesn't do shit for them, I guess. I don't know. And I think that's the biggest trend that I'm seeing is that, you know, everybody is now inspired to create their own space and create their own brand. I'm speaking for beauty, but like even for me, I was inspired to create my own brand because I saw others doing it. So, and I was like, there's something missing. And I think now is the opportunity for the Latinx space to like really own it, because own your niche, own it. Like, I own my niche. I was like, you know what? I don't see anyone else doing what I want to do. Like, yes, there's there's definitely other Latina publicists, there's other Latina marketers. Like, there's definitely like, I'm not saying I'm the only one, but the way I'm doing things with the BONITA project, I want to claim it's a little different than what you see out there. So like, do it. Like, I think that's what I'm seeing the most out of. Even the conferences that I attend, like the We All Grow Latinas of the world. I've gone twice. I've gone to We All Grow Latina twice. And for those that don't know what We All Grow Latina is, it's the biggest Latina conference that takes place annually in LA, or was it Long Beach, Newport? I don't even know. But yeah, it's in California, and it takes place, and it's like, I remember when I first attended, it was all about the influencer, right? I went in like 2017, and I got to meet with all the influencers, all the Latina influencers were there, etc. Then I went last year, and I got to connect with more entrepreneurs. Like, the We All Grow kind of evolved to be like the conference for entrepreneurs, and I was like, oh shit, like now I see a benefit for me. Like, I get to connect with other fellow business owners. So I think that's like the biggest trend that I'm seeing now, which is great, and I think, you know, this is the time that we need to continue to do so, because now it's like people are finally paying attention to the market, and especially now with after Super Bowl, it's like, okay, wake the fuck up. This is the power of the Latinx community.
Yep. And they are going to gun for us so hard right now after this Super Bowl, for sure. And I mean, not to mention that even in like switching to the music industry, like Hollywood's one thing, but reggaeton kicked down a door, like, and rammed through. Once Justin Bieber and them did, what was that song that with that Despacito? Yo, once Despacito, like, I don't know what white person fell in love, but they fell in love again, because we had this renaissance when we were younger. Like, this like explosion. That's when Pitbull exploded, and like Daddy, and like hip hop started having like remixes with like, you know,
have the Spanish remix, or you have the like the English remix of the reggaeton song, or whatever.
Absolutely, there was a lot of cross collaboration across American artists and reggaeton artists, and then it sort of like died down a little bit, and then like trap music was like, and it was like trap, and then Latinx people were like, we can trap too, right? And then the reggaeton started to also really bring in some of those trap elements, and then, you know, Bad Bunny, you know, Creepy Kush was one thing, you know, for like the more like deep cut people, and then, you know, Despacito combined, and they've knocked down the doors. So absolutely, marketers are coming after us, but you do some consulting sometimes for some brands, right? So what is that experience like in the room? What sort of pitches have you seen? I want to hear all that. You don't have to name them, but I'm so interested to see, like, because the fact that they hire you in the first place means something, right?
Right.
So,
well, so I'll scale it back to like when I first started, and I mean, I still kind of hear this every now and then. I hear the whole like, oh my God, Latinas love like makeup. Yes, we do love makeup. I agree. We are big beauty purchasers, obviously, but it's like, okay, we love to play with red lipstick. Like, we always wear red lipstick, right? Oh, if it's a red lipstick, we gotta market it to like the Latinas, or if it's like a very bold eyeshadow line, like, we're gonna market it to Latinas because that's all we wear. And I'm like, well, that's not, I mean, yes, I'll rock the red lipstick here and there, but I'm not wearing red lipstick on a daily basis.
Right.
Like, I'm more of a nude girl, but like, why are you not marketing me your browns and your other mellow tones? Why does it have to just be the red lipstick? Because I feel like marketers see Selena as like an image, and we all look like Selena. Listen, I love Selena. I think, you know, I grew up in the 90s. I think she's great. She was definitely, she will forever be an icon to us, but she's not the only representation of what Latinas is. Let's also, like, I also see that, the way I educate and consult for these larger brands is I always tell them that, the Latino market is very complex. Like, let's get real. It's very complex. Like, there's a lot of factors that, like, really, that you need to really dissect into the community and really understand, like, okay, what makes a Latinx community? Because what I always say is, like, the New York Latino community is very different from the Miami community.
Yes.
And I think I'm very grateful to say, like, I've lived in both communities, and I've gotten to see the difference, and I can understand the difference. Like, but for marketers, for these bigger companies, they don't know. So they think that one idea is going to fit all, and it's like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You need to cater to each in every market. New York is different, Miami's different, Texas is different, Chicago's different, LA's different. Like, you have, like, such a diverse, and that's why I feel like marketers and, like, white people, like, I don't know, like, they're like, this shit's too complicated. Like, let's just do whatever is easy, and that's at, like, the best cost efficient budget, and call it a day. Like, that's it. We checked off the box, kind of thing, right?
Right.
But it's like, no, like, you need to make sure that the idea that you do for the New York audience is catered to them. Whatever we bring to Miami is catered to them, and whatever we bring out west, which is obviously very predominantly, like, Mexican, Central American focus, is catered to them. Like, it matters. Like, I always, and I feel like they also categorize us as being, like, mostly, whether it's Caribbean or Central American or very Mexican, but they also tend to neglect South Americans. At least I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, like, even growing, like, I always consult on a lot of Miami projects, and people tend to not realize, like, I have to educate them and say, like, Miami has a very affluent Latino community.
Yep.
Like, there's rich people in Miami that are Latinos, and you're gonna tell me you're gonna only market me your drugstore products. You're not gonna market me the prestige beauty brands. You don't think that woman is gonna go to freaking Nordstrom beauty counter versus a CVS and purchase a $400 night cream? Like, trust me, she's going to, because we're very vain.
Right.
Like, they tend to not ignore those ideas, like,
Right.
those facts. I'm like, we're very vain people. Like, my mother, my everybody, like, growing up, like, I think we can all attest that all, like, Latina women, including, men and people that love beauty product, like, we go all out. We're gonna want to spend the nice dollars on a nice set of products if we know it works well.
Right.
And what it bothers me is that I always see, like, drugstore brands, obviously the bigger drugstore brands that you see at the CVS and Dwayne Reed's and whatever, like, they have the bigger budgets to, like, market to us, right?
Right.
Like, I'm not just purchasing those products. Like, I want to hear from other brands too. Like, I want to hear from the prestige products. Like, you're always doing the same shit every year. You don't market to us.
Right.
Like, why? And, like, I mean, now in the influencer world, like, we are seeing, like, a lot of influencer programs where they select their 5 to 10 girls, and each of them check the box. Great. But it's like, okay, it's normally the same group of beauty influencers. I'm like, I want to see some diversity here. And I think now we are starting to see, like, okay, some of these girls have already gotten the same partnerships over and over, and it's like, okay, it's about time we kind of, like, switch that up a bit.
Right. Diversify. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great no. I think that's a great point. And, like, when speaking to beauty brands, like, I remember growing up and watching, the commercials in between the novelas, and when it would be Pantene and Revlon and, like, those brands, and it was like, oh, they'd get the J-Los, or they'd have, like, these American people with the Spanish, like, dub, know what I mean? And it was always interesting. But to me, growing up, because that's what was marketed to us, I thought, like, Revlon and stuff was, like, top notch, like, shouldn't even touch a drugstore, brand, until you get older and you're like, like, and then even as a consumer, and I'm not big on makeup, but, like, sometimes I'm like, shit, well, I know this says Revlon, but I'm buying it in a drugstore. Should I be buying it at all? Because should I be in Sephora? Should I be in MAC? Like, and even when I walk in there, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck, because none of these brands market to us. So I'm like, I'll see brands and stuff, and Juan will be like, oh, this, like, when Juan starts talking about makeup and he starts naming things, and he's like, oh, because this is what they use in the industry, and this is what they use if you're doing, like, dramatic makeup, and this, and I'm just like, wow, never seen a commercial, and even an ad online. Like, I don't know. And
it's funny that you brought that up, because literally today, as I was walking to the train, I was thinking to myself about the other day I was shooting a makeup tutorial. The lights went out. I wasn't able to finish it, so I was able to do my brow routine. And so, like, I was like, oh my God, I have a brow routine video that I could put out. And that got me starting to think about like how lately, because of like shifts in my career and stuff like that, I've scaled back to using drugstore makeup more so now because it's just more affordable.
Right.
But even me, as someone who isn't like a certified makeup artist, but does do like makeup tutorials and does like serve looks, and like my look is kind of part of what I put on the internet.
Right.
I was thinking to myself how like I really didn't learn how to beat my face and like use products until I worked at Sephora. You know, but even before that, playing with makeup and like, you know, experimenting with makeup was fully like a I'll go when I have a Sephora gift card, or if I'm going to buy makeup, I'm going to go to Sephora, you know? So, like, the idea of scaling back to doing drugstore makeup almost felt kind of like, oh, I'm going back to, a lower quality. So the fact that they're not even taking the time to market to people, when me, as someone coming in as a Latino, I went straight to the high-end luxe brands and stuff like that, without really educating myself on drugstore makeup. So
yeah, I mean, they don't market to us, and sometimes when they do, they're really racist about it. They get it really, really wrong. Has there ever been a moment where you're consulting on something where before it got out, it was like, oh, thank God they called me because they were going to get this really, really wrong?
I'm gonna be honest. Not during TVP at my old where I used to work.
Thank God.
Oh my God. There are things that have
I like that answer.
And I'm like, I'm gonna take this to the grave. Like but this is where I go back to saying like too, like these beauty giants in these. And not just beauty brands, I think brands in general. Like, you need to diversify your internal staff team. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I'm getting the paycheck. If you want to hire me as a consultant, fabulous.
Right.
But at the same time, too, like, it pains me that I also have to, like, I have to continue to pitch my ideas and report back to the white boss, right?
Right.
And even when a few years ago, I mean, when I was, like, still... like before my Bonita days, like I would get so flustered and get frustrated. And I have my work mom, like my old boss, she was Latina. It was like the two of us. And she was like, Danielle, don't get so frustrated. Like you need to understand, like you need to dumb it down for them because they don't understand. Like you need to dumb it down. Like you can't, I'm like, but I'm frustrated. I'm like, what do you mean they don't get it? Like they don't get it. She's like, Danielle, but like this is part of our job.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's part of our job. You can't get super mad at them either. They don't get it. They weren't raised in our culture. Like, you have to, like, give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, fine. You're right. Cool, true. But at the same time, it's like, okay, like, especially in the beauty space, like, come on, bro. Like, you know that a lot of us are women of color that are purchasing your products. Why am I still reporting to a large conference room with all white women? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, do the effort and diversify your internal staff team so that when I go back there and I report any ideas, like, I can have at least a nod in the room and be like, yes.
Right.
Because they're like looking at me like with a blank face like, like, what are you saying? Like, you know, so it does matter. I think it does matter. And I think that goes across the gamut because I don't know if this is true or not, but remember when the whole rumor came out with that Beyonce when she was talking to Reebok and Reebok had offered her a line, and when she met with the team, she saw that no one was black on the team.
And then she walked out.
I don't know if that's true or not, because that ended up coming out that it wasn't. But at the same time, it kind of proved the point. It's like, well, you see, if it was, kudos to her if she actually did walk out.
Right.
Because, unfortunately, in a lot of these bigger companies, the core team and the ones that are making the biggest decisions are, for the most part,
right.
blanquitos,
and I'm sure that they don't, there are some of them at least are unaware of the Afro-Latinx population.
That's another thing that I meant to call out. People are very unaware. I mean, I think now.
Yeah, now we're being loud. Like
I didn't want to call it a trend when you asked me about the trend because I want to be respectful about the Afro-Latinx community. The Afro-Latinx community is not a trend, but I think now people are like
trending.
Right. People now are like, oh, okay, it's they're being brought awareness to. Like people are being more aware about that as well, which is important. And I think now, like when you select a influencer program of sorts, like make sure to include your black influencer, but also include your Afro-Latina influencer, and also include your Latina influencer, and then also include whatever, make sure it matters because
So what advice would you give to anyone who has a brand or is a creator that is trying to utilize the internet as a tool of promotion?
So I say definitely keep your authentic voice and don't overdo it all at once. I feel like with social media, we get caught up in like, oh my gosh, I missed that. Like I need to do it all. Like you want to do everything all at once, right? You want to do video content. You want to do the post. You want to keep up with the national fake holidays that exist.
Right,
like it's National Red Lipstick Day. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. I got to post my National Red Lipstick Day. Like you want to keep up with so much shit. It's hard. It's hard. Don't overdo it. Like honestly, because I've been there. I've been there where I'm like, oh my god, we forgot to post National Entrepreneurs Day, and Ivy's like, Danielle, like it is what it is. I'm like, you know what, you're right. like I think that as long as you have, like I always say, definitely keep the content intentional. Like if you're trying to build an audience, like if it's not a personal page and it's for a business, and you want quality engagement and like a loyal following, like keep the content intentional. I think that's why BONITA has been so well received, is because we keep everything that we post very intentional and with like that educational like tidbit behind it. Because when I want people to look at my page when it's their first time, and I also make sure that the page is viewable for people outside of just the Latino community, like whether it's a white person that's like coming across the page for the first time, I want them to see like as an educational page, like they're learning about what the complex diverse Latinx community is about, right? Yeah. And you get to learn about all the ethnicities, all the cultures. Like we're very adamant about celebrating all the Independence Days across all countries, because I think that's very important. Because I think we also get lost, like, I mean, living in New York, I think I hear from a lot of certain countries, obviously Dominican community is very loud and proud.
Biggest Latinx population in New York.
You have the Puerto Ricans, you have Colombians, you have Mexicans. I mean, I come from a Peruvian, right? I'm like, yo, I don't hear, where are my peoples? Like, every time I see a Peruvian, I get so excited. I'm like, yes, there's someone else like me in the room, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, that's why, I mean, like, I feel like people and brands tend to forget about that. But I'm kind of, like, scaling away from your question. I'm sorry.
No, that makes sense, because I think and the reason it does make sense is because like you see like how when you said the Dominican thing, like I learned that stat recently that we're the largest Latinx group in New York. I was going to say the United States one day. Keep making those babies. But it's exciting because growing up I had zero Dominican representation, even in like history class. Like there was no representation, and so I think even promoting myself as a Dominican person, because we didn't get to learn our markets the way like certain stereotypes are like, oh, we understand this market, we get it because we know how marketers, aka white lenses, are viewing us, and we get it. I'm always like, yo, I actually just think white lenses don't know I exist, like let alone have a strategy or some special way that they're trying to target me. And then even in Latinx markets where we're talking about, or networks even, like the representation of Afro-Latinos, so like fuck white people, now we're talking about even amongst Latinos, like we also didn't really get that representation because we are mostly Afro-Latino, even though they are white passing Dominican. And so knowing that is, and when you went back to saying owning your niche, I think that's important where you're pointing out. Absolutely.
That's very important. I feel like own your niche, especially if you're starting out, don't try to overdo it and like to the point where it's like not authentic. People like when you're trying to fake it and try to do too much, people are like, okay, this person's trying too much, right? With social media. At least that's how people see that. People can see through that. Through the lens, through like the picture, like through whatever video you're posting, it's like, okay, don't overdo it. Like tampoco, like start off little by little. And I think, we live in this, and I always say too, like we live in this age where we want to share everything that we're working on. And I'm just like, don't overshare. I'm saying that's actually been my biggest tip for 2020. Don't overshare the shit that you're working on. Keep some certain things secret, like private. You don't know what bad juju's out there and be like, oh shit, she's working on that. You know what? I don't know.
No, it's true.
I believe in that shit.
Yeah, I do too.
Don't jinx your don't keep certain things to yourself. Like, you want to be so antsy and be like promote it to the whole world. It's like, I got this new client. Wait a second. Take a deep breath and be like, all right, let me plan this out and announce it in like 4 months when the client is like officially secure. I don't know.
Right. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, absolutely.
Protect your image and your work también. Like, don't. I feel like people try to overdo it too much with social media now.
Yeah, that's the culture. But that's definitely some great advice. And, you know, I think in 2020, this Latinx explosion is going to keep happening. And we're going to see some exciting brands, exciting creators, and exciting things coming through the pipe. So I'm happy to be a Latina. I'm super proud.
Latino gang.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the episode. Any shout outs or plugs that you want to give us?
Any shout outs? Well, I'm going to give a shout out to my Bonita gang.
Yes, Bonita gang.
We gotta have Ivy on an episode.
Yes.
I love Ivy's page.
Yes.
I always tell
Shout
her.
out to Ivy.
She literally makes her outfit match the background of all her pictures. I swear to God.
Those are the ladies that I have to give a shout out to because I honestly wouldn't get my work done if it wasn't for the team that I have behind it. So special kudos to them. And kudos to all whoever is listening to this and is an entrepreneur, or looking to be an entrepreneur and is in that doubtful mindset where it's like, fuck, is this gonna work? Trust me, it's gonna work. You just have to stay positive. Don't let that negativity hit you. And that's what I mean by oversharing, because when you overshare some of your stuff, you're gonna someone else is gonna doubt you, like, oh shit, are you sure that's gonna work? And then it's gonna make you double question yourself and be like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm not gonna do it. And it's like, well, that's what you get for sharing your ideas. How about you just keep it to yourself? Maybe trust your mother. Your mother's the only person that's going to keep it honest with you. And she's going to tell you, go for the stars and do it. That's it.
Right, absolutely. And where can we find you? What are your handles?
So at the Bonita Project, if you want to follow the Bonita Gang. And then my personal is at Dani Alvarez, PR.
Nice. And you can find us at Ladies Who Bronche on Instagram and Facebook, at Ladies Bronche on Twitter. Thank you for listening, and until next time, Bronche.
Bronche, that's how we say brunch.
Here's to the ladies who say basic with their lunch.
You want that bochinche?
Paquete con pinche, you know what they said?
Not too busy, glasses clinking.
Aquí en esta mesa se respeta como ñón.
Si la copa está llena, yo te doy la bendición.
So what if we get ratchet?
We from the Bronx.
That's it.
Don't get it twisted.
We be going to Manhattan. Be a queen.
Be a boss.
Ladies who brunch and poppin' off.
Hey.